and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Amethyst and I am a first-time mom to a beautiful baby girl named Elena. I make motherhood, lifestyle, and motivational videos here on YouTube. So if that is something that interests you, please make sure you hit that big red subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss when I post new content. I would love to have you join my Mompower/Friendpower here on YouTube. Today's video, you guys, I'm so excited because this is something that I feel like is so important and it's not talked about enough and it needs to be talked about more, and that is mom guilt. So my video for today is for all my mamas out there. I love you guys. I know that it is so hard. So we are going to get into mama guilt because let's be honest, if we're being 100 right now, everybody who is a mother has experienced some sort of mom. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about mom guilt, some of the experiences of mom guilt, like why we have mom guilt and why we should not have mom guilt. Because as moms, you guys, we need to bond together. I remember when I was on Instagram, and if you guys follow Hilary Duff, I used to love Lizzie McGuire when I was growing up. She got her daughter's ears pierced and people were coming for her so hard. I got Elena's ears pierced maybe when she was 6 months, and I remember I went in Claire's and there was an older woman in there and she was telling me about how when she got her daughter's ears pierced, she was red for filth because people could not believe that she was getting her daughter's ears pierced. Why everybody's so entitled to something that has nothing to do with them? Because it's, you know, your kid, so why does anyone else care what you're doing with your kid? But again, we live in a world where everyone is so judgmental. But I feel like in the mom community and as a mother, we all need to uplift one another because it is so hard. So let's hop into the first mom guilt that a lot of us feel, and that is the feeling of wanting to have interaction outside of our children. I remember being so excited about having maternity leave because I told you guys before, I worked like 2 jobs up until I was 8 months pregnant. So I was just so happy, of course, to obviously bond with my kid, but to just not have to work. And you guys, probably after the first month, I was over it. I was like, I'm bored. I'm dying here. I need some human interaction. I need some adult interaction outside of just looking at my beautiful baby who can't move, who can't talk, who just, you know, poops, sleeps, eats, repeat. And I was going crazy. You are not crazy and you are not a bad mom for wanting to have a life outside of your children. In fact, you need to have a life outside of your children. It is very unhealthy to only focus on your kids and not to focus on yourself and make your children your whole life, because eventually your kids are going to leave the nest and they're going to have their own life. And if you focus your whole life on them, you are going to have so much resentment once they decide they want their own life and once they leave the house, and you're not going to know what to do with yourself because you haven't had any hobbies, you haven't formed any relationships, you haven't done anything fun. And so now that your kids are gone, you're not going to know what to do with. You guys, it is so hard to take care of this little person who is completely dependent on you, but who has no social skills. So you are not a bad person if you want to, you know, let your mother-in-law or let your husband or whoever, a friend, watch your baby for a little while you go out. Even if you just go take a drive in the car just to have some alone time. If you guys follow me on Instagram, and again, I always say this, if you don't, you should be, because I always post videos of Elena and she is hilarious. But if you guys follow me on Instagram, she literally does not give me a second to myself, which I'm so, you know, grateful for. I always have to tell myself. I do get irritated sometimes, but I always have to remind myself that one day, especially with the mother-daughter dynamic, she is going to hate my guts and she's going to feel like I am ruining her life and I will be her mortal enemy. So while she wants to be so clean to me all the time, I need to just cherish every second of it. But I posted on Instagram where I was trying to take a shower and she literally was like basically hopping in there with me. And I even like inserted a little clip of Mariah Carey, like, why are you so obsessed with me? Literally though, why are you so obsessed with me? But you are not a bad mom for wanting to go out with your friends. You are not a bad mom for wanting to catch a movie. You're not a bad mom for wanting to do something outside of being a mother. So please remember that. Please take time for yourself. Take time to still have interactions and social interactions, and to still crave wanting adult attention and interaction and wanting to nurture your relationships outside of just being a mother. Okay, this next one, and this is a really important one. It might be the most important one that I'm going to say. And I honestly have had so many conversations with so many women and so many of my close friends, and I have definitely struggled with this, is comparing yourself to other moms. We get on Instagram and we see these moms who have these Pinterest perfect looking craft activities for their kids, and we see them look like they always have a clean house, and we see them with their perfect bodies, and we tear ourselves down and we feel horrible. Listen, first of all, I told you guys this and I'm going to keep drilling this in your head. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do not compare your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 25. Do not compare. You will be miserable. It will take your joy. The next thing is, please understand that that woman who seems like she has Pinterest perfect crafts, or that woman whose body is perfect, she's comparing herself to someone else who's comparing themselves to someone else who's comparing themselves to another mom. We all feel like we're not doing enough as moms. So just stop comparing. You're never going to be like another mom, and that is your gem. You are different. You are the perfect mom that your child needs. Don't compare your mom body. Listen, we could all eat the exact same thing for 9 months. Literally, we could all have the same diet. We could eat the same thing. We could all work out for the same amount of hours every single day for 9 months. And then once we have our babies, all of our bodies are going to do completely different things. They're not all going to look the same. And honestly, I think there's beauty in that. I think there's beauty in being different. I think there's beauty in the fact that we are literally creating this miracle with our bodies, you guys. So let's pay more attention to that instead of paying attention to how our bodies look afterwards. And also know that you have total control over how your body looks. While you spent 35 minutes looking at homegirl whose body snapped back after 2 weeks, that's 30 minutes that you could have been running on the treadmill that you just wasted downing yourself, and you could be making yourself look like shorty or look better. Trust me, I completely understand, especially with the weight loss thing or like comparing your body to another mom's body. I struggled with this like really hard because I had hired a personal trainer right before I found out that I was pregnant, and I had lost probably 30 pounds literally right before I found out I was pregnant. And then I found out I was pregnant and I gained all that weight back, and I was the heaviest I have ever been in my life. By the time I gave birth to Elena, I weighed 190 pounds, you guys. I am 5'2", okay? That is a lot of weight to have on my little frame, and I was obsessed. The minute that I gave birth to her, I was obsessed with my 6 weeks going by so that I could get back in the gym. And honestly, I kind of regret that because I should have just been focused on nurturing my child and enjoying those very first few weeks with my kid and being a mom and resting my body. Because what they don't tell you, you feel like you got hit by a truck with postpartum. Postpartum to me was worse than birth, you guys. The afterbirth is worse than the birth, and no one talks about that. The squirt bottle, the little mesh panties, like no one talks about that stuff. So that's really what we should focus more on, is taking care of our bodies and let our bodies heal rather than hopping back in the gym. But obviously with social media, that's really hard to do. But also understand social media is a highlight reel. People are, I mean, some women do, and I applaud those women and shout out to them when they get on there and they truly show how their bodies really look. But then there's other women who they're only showing a highlight reel. They're only showing y'all what they want y'all to see. They're only showing y'all the good stuff. So don't read too much into it, and don't put so much pressure on yourself to get to a certain weight by a certain time. Like I said, I was obsessed. You guys, I literally just finally got back to my pre-baby weight, and Elena is 18 months. It takes time. It took you 9 months to grow this beautiful miracle and this beautiful human. So what makes you think in 2 weeks you should be able to lose all of the weight? Give yourself grace and just enjoy. Okay, so this next thing that a lot of moms feel guilt about is screen time. And let me tell y'all, this is my saving grace. Screen time is my best friend. I don't care what the American Medical Association says. I was reading something because I was really just curious about the statistics. So I was reading something, and they said that kids who are like 2 and under should not have screen time for like only an hour a day. What? Especially for me, because like I said, me and Elena's dad are not together, so I have Elena pretty much all of the time. He comes over and, you know, spends time with her 2 days a week. But outside of that, it's me. And you mean to tell me I'm supposed to let my kid watch TV for an hour a day? Now, this is my thing. This is what I do. So like I said, in the morning, if you watch my morning routine, if you haven't, what are you doing? But if you have, then you saw that in the morning while I make breakfast, Elena watches Leapfrog on Netflix, and it is amazing. It is interactive. It is teaching her something. So I also don't feel as bad about screen time when it is something that she's learning from. They have so many different types. There is numbers, there's your letters, and so that's the one that she watches. It's her letters, and it teaches her letter sounds, and it teaches her the vowels, and she got her letters so quick by watching this every single day. Because I play it for her every single morning so that the repetition gets in her head and she can start remembering the letters and start remembering the sounds. You guys, my biggest thing, and this is also another point of mom guilt that a lot of women deal with, but I'm just gonna wrap it in here. I do not have patience, okay? My aunt used to tell me growing up, patience is a virtue. I am probably one of the most impatient people. I want things to happen when I want them to happen. And so that is my biggest mom struggle, is my patience. I lose my patience so fast. And Elena, thank God children are so forgiving and they have like a short memory, because I can't tell you guys how quickly I get frustrated with her. And I'm not afraid to admit that, because it's something, I'm not perfect. It's something that I have to work on. But screen time gives me a second to myself to gather my thoughts. It gives me a second if I want to go wash my face, if I want to just, you know, do my Bible study, if I want to read a book, if I like anything that I need to do, but I can't do it because I still have Elena, I'm turning the TV on. If y'all follow me on Instagram, you see how many times Elena watches Zootopia, Elena watches Frozen, Elena watches Moana, and I ain't apologizing for it. I mean, it is what it is. I have to do what works for me, and that works for me, and I don't feel bad, and my child is developing the way she's supposed to be. She's healthy, she's safe, so I don't feel bad about it. If you have to let your kids watch screen time, don't feel bad about it. You need to cook dinner. If you need just a minute to go in your room and shut the door for a second, and you put the, you know, the little tablet in front of them and let them watch what PJ Masks or Vampirina. You guys, Elena's, that's her current obsession, is Vampirina. But anyways, just whatever they enjoy. Screen time is a mom's best friend sometimes, and I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit, and I ain't gonna apologize. Screen time is my best friend, because like I said, that is the only time I can really get things done that I need to get done around the house or for myself, is if I put something on the TV for Elena, because she's so little right now. She's 18 months, that if I put an activity out for her, I kind of still have to watch her, because she's also still at that age a little bit where she'll put everything in her mouth. So if I was to give her crayons and a coloring book, if I'm not right there to say, no, don't put that in your mouth, 9 times out of 10, Elena's putting the crayons in her mouth. So screen time is kind of the only way that I can really do things without just having to, obviously I'm still watching her, but without just having to literally have my eyes and all of my focus on her. So don't feel guilty about letting your kids watch some TV, or letting them watch something interactive, or putting them in front of the tablet while you take a shower or turn dinner on, or whatever you need to do. I mentioned this next point in my last point about how I lose my patience. So the next thing that a lot of moms feel guilt about is losing their cool, or losing their temper, or, you know, yelling at their kids. You're gonna do it. It's just human nature. We get frustrated, we lose our cool. It is okay. The one thing I can say about this that I'm learning, and I think is really important, that a lot of people may not completely agree with, is that your child, even though you are an authority figure over them, they're still a human being. So if you do lose your cool, it's okay, but you need to apologize to your child, because they're still a human being. They still have feelings, and I'm thankful that I'm really good about this. And like I said, I'm so thankful that kids are so forgiving, and they honestly will forget in 2 seconds. Like, I could yell at Elena and she'll poke her little lip out, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, I literally physically, I don't just say, oh, sorry. I literally get on my hands and knees and get down on her level, and I look her in her eyes and I say, I'm so sorry that I yelled at you. Mommy's sorry. Give mommy a hug. And we hug it out, and she's forgotten about it. So just make sure that when you do lose your cool, because you're going to, it's human nature, don't dwell on it. Extend yourself grace. You're doing great. Just apologize. And I promise you, by the time you've said I'm sorry, they're getting into something else that's gonna make you lose your cool. Another controversial thing that a lot of moms feel guilt about is breastfeeding versus bottle feeding. You guys, I breastfed Elena for 3 months, up until the time that I went back to work, and thankfully my job actually had a specific place that moms could go, and we could sit and we could pump if we chose to, and it was very closed off. It was a very private space. But I work at a law firm, and yes, like I said, we did have it, and I do work for amazing people who would have totally understood, but I'm also a perfectionist, and I also want to make sure I'm doing the best possible job that I can. And I just feel like I did not have enough time to get my job done, and I feel like I had enough time to get my job done the correct way and to my standards and breastfeed or pump at work. And so I started giving Elena formula, and people had their opinions, and obviously I felt some kind of way about it, but at the end of the day, fed is fed. What works for Sally might not work for Susie. And again, this is where we have to come together as moms and support one another on whatever decision we choose. And I know that breastfeeding in public and all that is a whole other thing. And again, fed is fed. Why are you trying to shame me for feeding my kid? If I wasn't feeding my kid, then you would have something to say. So again, do what you want to do, because people are going to have something to say regardless. So you might as well do what makes you happy and do what is best for you and your. Other thing that moms feel mom guilt about is the decision of going back to work versus being a stay-at-home mom. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I was one of those people who thought stay-at-home moms had it so easy and they were so lucky because, you know, you don't have to go to work and you just stay at home all day, until I became a mom and until I went on maternity leave and I saw how time-consuming, how hard it is to physically entertain a little child all day long. So if you are a stay-at-home mom, sis, I got the utmost respect for you. You are bomb. I couldn't do it. I can't, because again, my patience, I'm still working on it, and I know that I'm gonna get better, but I could not. I just don't. I think if I had to, obviously, there is such a stigma around being a stay-at-home mom that it's so easy and that you're not doing anything all day long and that you just have to cook and clean and that is so easy and take care of a kid. That is not true. It is hard. I'm even seeing how hard it is. I'm working from home right now, but I'm still home, and so I'm with Elena, and I see how hard it is, and I have the utmost respect for stay-at-home moms. It is not easy. And then there is the people who say, when you go to work, you're not spending enough time with your kid. That is what I get. And that is also the mom guilt that I feel, is that when I go to work, because I work the hours 7:30 to 4:30, but I live like 45 minutes with traffic from my job. So I have to get up in the morning and I have to leave my house at about 6:30. And that's before Elena even wakes up. And by the time, with rush hour traffic, because I work downtown Atlanta, like next to Hooters on Peachtree, downtown Atlanta, so you can imagine that traffic, it takes me sometimes 2 hours to get home. So by the time I get home, I probably have like an hour with Elena before she has to go to sleep. So I used to feel so much guilt that I wasn't spending enough time with her. And the weekends was the only time I had with her. But then I was so tired on the weekends that I didn't really have energy to do things. And so again, extend yourself grace. Do what is best for you, whatever is the best decision for your family, but don't feel bad about it and just try to do your best. I've been really intentional of just making sure that I take at least 20 to 30 minutes every single day, and I do turn off my phone. I don't look at my phone. We turn off the TV and we just play. Even if it doesn't have to necessarily be something learning wise, but Elena's really loving to learn how to like play rollover and play patty cake. So even if it's that, I just want to make sure that I'm intentional and I take that time to spend with her. That is the most important thing. So whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're you go to work every single day, as long as you know that you're giving your child that attention that they need and you're doing your best, that is the most important. Last thing that I want to talk about that I know a lot of moms feel guilt over, and this is the thing that I felt the guiltiest about as a mom, is asking for help. You guys, they say it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a mom. Please do not feel prideful, do not feel shameful because you need help or you need a break or you need someone to come and cook dinner for a night because you just want to get off your feet and you're tired, or you just don't have the energy, or you need to ask a question because you're not sure how to do something. It doesn't make you incompetent. It makes you a great mom because you care enough to care about yourself, because you cannot be a good mom to your child unless you are taking care of yourself. So if you need to take a nap, you guys, like I said, I was really bad about this. I'm still bad about this. People will buy things for Elena and I will feel so bad because I'm like, I'm her mom, I should be able to provide for her. Or my mom will say, hey, do you want me to come watch her? And I'm like, no, I don't want you to stop what you're doing because she's my responsibility. She's my kid. I can watch her. I'm very bad about accepting help from people. My aunt sends Elena pajamas all the time, and I'm so thankful because that's whatever I don't have to spend my money on, because like I said, I spend my money on enough, but whatever I don't have to spend my money on for her, I'm thankful. And I'm so thankful that I have so many people who care enough about my child that they want to help me, or they want to put a smile on her face by getting her something nice. So be appreciative that you have that, because there's a lot of people who wish that they had that support and they had someone that they could call and say, hey, can you come watch, who such and such, can you come watch the baby for me for a second? I need to go run an errand, or I'm just really tired, I need to take a nap. Be thankful if you have that. And if you don't, you're doing great and continue to do great. But if you do have that support and you have that help, take advantage of it because you need it. You need to be able to re-energize and recharge yourself. So don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're a bad mom because you need to ask for help, or you need to take a break, or you need to step out. Just take the help if you have it. Love. So some things that I just want you guys to remember as you continue on your day and you continue on this journey of motherhood is that you are doing an amazing job. You are an amazing mom, whether you stay at home, whether you go to work, whether you breastfed, whether you bottle fed, whether you lost all the weight after 2 weeks, or your kid is 2 years old and you still have some mom flab. You are doing amazing. God chose you to be your child's mom. That child is a blessing. That child sees you as a blessing. That child looks at you like you are a superhero, because you are. So embrace that. Love yourself. Love your child. The fact that you even feel mom guilt means that you are a bomb mom and you care. So that in itself, you shouldn't feel the guilt, because even feeling bad about it means that you're a good mom and that you care about your child and you want to give your child the best. So just always remember, make yourself a priority. You can't pour from an empty cup, which means if you don't pour into yourself and give yourself love and take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to pour into your child and nurture them and give them love and be the best version of yourself and be the best mom for them. And lastly, which is the most important thing, don't compare yourself to any other moms, because if we're being honest, none of us knows what in the hell we are doing half of the time. I say this all the time. It's like one day I feel like I got this mom thing down and I feel like I'm killing it, and then the next day I'm like back to square one and I have no idea what I'm doing. And that is the beauty of motherhood, is that every day we're going to learn something new. So if we just look at it that way, instead of feeling like we're the worst mom in the world because our kid is throwing a temper tantrum in the middle of Target, and we just start laughing that stuff off and we're like, oh, tomorrow's going to be a better day. If we start just looking at it with a positive outlook, it will get so much better. I love you guys. As moms, let's all support each other. Let's uplift one another. I hope this video gave you tons of inspiration and motivation. I hope that you feel related to, and you know that you're not alone in feeling mom guilt. And like I said, if you feel mom guilt, you are already way ahead of the game, because you are a bomb mom and you just know that, embrace that. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a big thumbs up so that I can know to continue to create this type of content for you guys. Let me know down in the comments below any things that you feel mom guilt about, or any other tips that you have for all of us who are feeling mom guilt and who deal with it on a daily basis. I love you guys. You are all great moms. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, love.